So what I love about Bree, guys, you may not know this yet, but Bree has a beautiful method of making decisions, which is very different to mine, but super, super powerful. And not only Bree will share her story with us and inspire us, but also she will share with you how you can get in touch with yourself and understand what decision is right to help you fulfill your goals. So I'm really, really excited about this. So Bree, let's start with what you do, where you are, apart from celebrating Mom's birthday today. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, yes. So I'm in Florida celebrating my mom's birthday. And yeah, no, I'm a licensed acupuncturist, sound healer, and clairvoyant. And so I help people awaken to the intelligence, healing intelligence of their body mind so they can live a life of health and flow and harmony and ease. Yeah.
Beautiful. So Bree, tell us where you were at when we met and what inspired you to invest in yourself.
Right. So I had already made a big change in the way that I was choosing to work. So I was wanting to work, be able to work from anywhere and pivot from in person to online to have that flexibility. So I was learning some online strategies to connect with people because it's very different than how I was doing it. So I had connected with a really wonderful business coach, and Ava would come like once a month to talk. So I would go listen to Ava and I'd be like, yeah, I know this stuff. This is the world I'm in. I get this. But after a few months of being with this business coach and seeing all these people reaching their financial goals, and I was just kind of stuck at 5K a month, which isn't terrible, but it wasn't what I was going for. I knew that after 3 months of that there was something I needed to look at within myself. So there was a block that I had. So you were offering your master class, which everyone is in now. And I just was like, okay, I signed up for it. And when you opened the doors for us to join you, I was the first person to take that step. So
You know how to make decisions from your goals. And that's why I'm like double excited about having you here because you will help somebody with this as well. So Bree, what are your biggest wins so far? There's so much transformation. What's changed for you?
life, life, I'm completely different. I'm changed on the inside. And as a result, what I experience on the outside changes to meet the changes I make on the inside. And so, like I said, I knew the blocks that I was experiencing were within. And so TIR was one of those first major steps that I had taken to really start to clear those paradigms for myself. And one of the probably most immediate things that had happened, which is always amazing to me, is after I invested and I invested in full,
Mhm.
that weekend I recouped 1/3 of my investment from random sources. It just came right back. And it's just so amazing when you start to, make decisions from your goal, but also just step into that version of yourself, what's possible, and you really supported by the universe in these
Yeah.
choices. Yeah.
Universe responds to the vibration you're in. So when you make decision from your goal, money comes back.
Yep. And other things.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What else? There was a lot.
Well, I mean, so I was stuck at that 5K level, and then within the first 6 weeks, I surpassed that and I hit 7K. And it was really amazing because I didn't realize it at first. It was only looking back and doing my calculations, I was like, wow, I didn't feel like I was doing more work than, that I thought I would have to do. And then by January, because I started with you in August,
Mhm.
um, and then by January, I had my first 10K month, and it was completely different than what I had imagined it would be like.
Mhm.
I just felt so much more grounded and
Mhm.
more empowered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When your energy is tuned to 10,000, it becomes natural expression of you. Just like 5,000 is natural expression of you,
yeah.
10,000 can be natural expression of you. Love it. And you've transformed your business significantly. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've just transformed it again, actually.
Good.
So, I mean,
Good.
yeah. Yeah, one of the biggest shifts that I made when I was working with you is that we did away with one-to-one sessions, because that was the bulk of my time,
Yeah.
was, time for money, and that was exhausting. And I really wanted to get back to groups, which is where I was moving towards. And so with your encouragement and reflections and feedback, it really gave me the support that, and the clarity that I needed to do that. I knew right away I needed to do that. My body felt lighter as soon as you said, you got to let this go. And that was a really big change. And it was intimidating because I was so scared of letting people down. I
Yeah.
didn't want to disappoint anyone because I know our relationships and how they, depend on me.
Hmm.
But it actually worked in my favor and in everyone else's favor, because the results became amplified and they were able to receive so much more, and I was able to give so much more. So that was a really big lesson for me, to really check in with my body and notice, how does this feel? Is this going to energize me or deplete
Hmm.
me? And I
Yeah.
always come back to my body when making any kind of decision. So.
Beautiful. I love it. And what's really interesting is we have a bunch of participants from who came from an event with our lovely strategist that we both love very much.
Right.
And I know some of them are also considering thinking into results on top of investing in strategy. We both know that Sarah is like seriously top-notch strategist in her industry. What do you think is a benefit of for a coach or consultant to invest in both, like not just strategy, but also thinking into results to program their mind for the income they want? What would you say?
Right. So, the strategies are amazing, but they can't run on their own. You're the driver of that vehicle. And if there's something wrong with the driver, then the strategies aren't going to get you anywhere. So you really need both.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then last but not least, I always ask you this question. You also changed one of the very common healer paradigms in terms of charging. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I'm actually still changing that,
Oh,
to
good.
a
Good.
greater degree, because sometimes you change something, but you haven't really completely cleared away all the cobwebs. And so I was noticing some cobwebs. So those last few months, I've been really changing that, and my relationship to being able to charge what I'm worth, and charge in a way that feels sustainable, equal, balanced, and also like feeding, life-giving, not, life-giving for both parties.
Hmm.
So yeah, because there's so many paradigms in the healing community that you can't charge much or charge at all, you should give it away and all of this stuff. And it's just not true. I'm learning even now that, money is a consciousness that's looking for worthy vessels to channel it wisely. And so,
Ooh, I love
yeah,
this.
yeah. So I've been playing with that one, and it's been a real game changer for me. So,
Money is a consciousness that's looking for wise vessel, for vessels to manage it wisely. I love this. So good.
yeah.
Okay, so Bree, the moment of decision making, I know it was quite a moment for you, and you were the first person to make a decision. What was happening in your mind that was trying to pull you away from making this decision, and how did you get over this, and how did you still make the decision?
Right. So when I first was aware of the investment that was needed, it was an initial like tightening in my gut, like that solar plexus, and that was a feeling I was very familiar with. I'm like, oh, okay. But I just took a moment, and I went and I checked with my body, and I imagined two pathways. One where I didn't make any changes at all, and I imagined myself going down that pathway, and there was absolutely no change in my body. So I knew that I was flatlining if I, 3 months out, 5 months out, whatever. And then I imagined the path and the timeline where I signed up for TIR and working with you. And I immediately felt this expansive golden light in my body. And I knew that was all I needed to know. It's like, okay, this is where the changes are going to be.
Mhm.
And I had to take that step. Didn't so, it's one thing to know, it's another thing to act on what you know. So I had to
I've
act
been
on.
talking about this all day today.
Yeah.
One thing to know, another thing to act on it. Beautiful. And universe rewards your decisions, right? So there's consequences. If we make decisions from the end, then the universe brings back the money. So you recoup the 1/3 of investment, not to mention how much more came back to you later on. I love this, Bree. Okay, so I think let's demonstrate the decision-making process. I think it's a beautiful method that allows us to connect to our body. Our body knows what to do, what's the right decision that will help us fulfill our goals. And Bree will kindly demonstrate how to make the right decision coming from your goal, from your intuition versus from, hold on, let me do this. Oh, there you go. Versus from your logic. So Bree, off to you.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. So everything you need to know is right here. You know, we have a tendency to want to go outside, get confirmation, get validation, and you do get validation once you align with what you know and hear. And your body, your heart, and or your higher self, however you want to connect with that, will always show you the way. But the body's going to give you the feedback that you need, right? So let's just close our eyes. And just notice how your body is even responding to the sound. There you go. Beautiful. You all are doing such a beautiful job of tuning into yourself. I think this is a more highly intuitive group than you've had before. It feels like it. Yeah. Okay. Let's just take a couple of breaths in and out of the center of the heart so we can make that connection with our knowing and our life force. There you go. And trust that you'll get the exact information that you need today to make the decision that you need to make. It will be very clear for you. So from this place, notice how your body is feeling here in present time. Just notice it. Get a baseline. Right? There you go. Beautiful. Now in your mind's eye, two paths appear before you. One path is where nothing changes, and the other path is where you decide to join Eva and TIR. So notice how these paths appear. Just notice how they look to you. What do you notice about them? And how does it feel just looking at the different paths? Start to gauge how your body's responding to the different information. Yeah, see, some of you already know just by comparing and contrasting. Beautiful. Now we're going to get confirmation on that. So with your mind's eye, orient to the path where nothing changes. You've had an amazing week. You've learned a lot of things with Eva. Maybe you've had some breakthroughs, uncovered some of your money beliefs that have been there. Okay, you've received a lot, but you're not going to make that choice. So orient towards that path where nothing changes. And then with your mind's eye, you're going to travel down that timeline about 1 month from now. And notice how your body feels. You feel regret coming up for some people. And then travel 3 months from now. Just notice how the body feels. You might get thoughts and feelings and stories, and that's okay. But really just pay attention to the body. And then let's go about 6 months from now. Good. And 1 year from now. How does your body feel 1 year from now? Maybe you've had some changes, but not the ones that you were looking for. Right? You feel some change, but maybe not the quantum leaps that you would hope for. Beautiful. And then come back to present moment and feel how you are here. There you go. Take a breath. And then now orient towards the other path. The path of TIR, path of Eva, community. And notice how you feel before you venture down. And then begin to move down that timeline 1 month from now. Well, some people had really surprised by the things that are happening for them. 3 months from now, you can see money flowing in into your lives, into your bank account, for your families, for your children. Beautiful. Let's go 6 months from now. Someone was able to start the business they were hoping to start and move from their corporate life or their other job. There's also a home somebody wants to move into or build. And then let's go out a year from now. So much to celebrate. You look back and you're in a completely different place than you were. And you're able to support so many other people as a result of the choices you've made. So you're able to serve at a greater level. Beautiful. And then come back to present moment. So you receive the exact information from your body. It does not lie. But again, it's up to you to act on what you know.
Thank you so much, Bree. This was so powerful and very different to what I introduced to our participants earlier, you know, asking yourself questions versus just relaxing and tuning into your body. And just like Bree said, we know what's right for us. Deep down, our intuition is always talking to us, but we frequently talk ourselves out of it. And I think the one thing that came to my mind when we were visualizing was a question: if you don't do it, like just really, if you don't do it, where will you be in next 6 to 12 months, and how will that feel? Like, I want you to really think about this, because I remember I didn't actually make my decision because of what I wanted. I made my decision because of dreading not to be where I am, even though I was in a good place, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. Something inside of me was telling me, Eva, you can do so much better, so much better. And I think Bree also confirmed this. You knew that you can do better. You saw people around you doing better, and you knew the only thing that is there that is blocking me is my mind. So if you know, if you feel that you can do better and you're not doing better, then how about just surrendering to support? You know, I think that a lot of people who grow their businesses, they are lone rangers. And it's like, oh, I'm going to do everything myself. Whereas the actual solutions are to surrender, to mentorship, support, to community. And you just replace 10 years of effort and hustle and pain and sorrow with 6 months of joy and ease. I mean, I look at you, Bree, and not only you earn so much more than when we started together, but you are so much more authentic and true to yourself. And you don't do strategies that you don't feel like doing. You're just like yourself, your
Thank
own
you.
self, right? And I love this.
That's
So
probably the biggest compliment, you can get,
yeah, well, you got more connected to yourself and less barriers to what your heart desired. So look, guys, I mean, you know what to do. The link is in the recording, so you can register with us and just do what Bree did, you know, jump on board, follow instructions, and celebrate results. And I don't want you to go. I'm just gonna pause this recording